Hello there, it's Steve-O here from the Elite FPL podcast. This isn't some shameless self-promoting video for myself. I just want to react to what has happened to the game week so far. And, wow, as the title suggests, we knew it. But what we didn't know was how many goals were going to be scored. But as ever, as expected, the points have come from absolutely everywhere. Now, this is the second video of today, and I'm hoping that the internet will now work so I can reveal some kind of interesting information regarding the Elite FPL Podcast League. And of course, the Torbay Elite Mini League Cash League that myself, Dan and Jason take so seriously. Because, again, I feel like I'm repeating myself here, but I was on the bus and I was going through the teams and I'm like, free hit played, wildcard play. I'm low in life. This is kind of played into my hands here. Now, the previous video that I did earlier on was more discussing the fact that I took a -4 to basically bring in Arnautovic for Aguero. That I was going to entitle this video Hindsight, but I thought, actually it's better more we knew it. Because we just knew that this game week would be rubbish, but I didn't think it would be this bad. Now, there are obviously some players that have scored today which people have got. I saw FPL Boona's team. I think he brought in Josh King. But that's another one. And we'll go on to that in a minute. But FPL Boona used his triple captainship. I think we all know who he put it on. But yeah, let's just say it now. Salah. Fair play to you, FPL Boona. That is, yeah, fair play to you. But let's just quickly go through today's scores and, more importantly, FPL points wise. So, Dan called it right. The same scoreline happened in the exact same fixture in February last year. It ended Bournemouth 2, Newcastle 2, Josh King 2, Matt Ritchie, Rondon with the goals for Newcastle, and the assists were Ake, Solanke, Yedlin and Almiron. Some of those names may ring a bell. Why? Because me and Dan, remember, we used our free hit chip for our joint podcast team. We brought in Ake. We brought in Almiron. We brought in the Yedlin. But Yedlin was on the bench. We, of course, we'll go to the joint podcast team in a minute, actually, because they all played today. So, yeah, ended 2-2 there. And now on to my team, Burnley. Maguire being sent off after 3 minutes. Apparently, it was one of the quickest red cards in Premier League history. Did we win? No. Did we draw? No. Did we lose? Of course we blinking did. Today was the day that we were relegated. I could be proven wrong, but mark this in your diary and then come back to it at the end of the season. Today was the day that Leicester sent us down. I know that Southampton haven't played today, Cardiff, but that result is atrocious. That is absolutely atrocious. And I'm sorry, but Leicester, you've sent us down. McNeil, of all players, scoring. Charlie Taylor assisting, Morgan scoring. He was the substitute that came on for Damari Gray, I believe it was, went off. Maddison opening the scoring as well. Telemons, another player we brought into our podcast team, getting the assist there, only one assist. Now then, the big scoring game, and I deliberately used Grant's picture for the thumbnail of this particular video. Who is he? Who are you? Huddersfield, I think, have scored a quarter of their goals for the whole of their season against West Ham. Now, we kind of all called it that West Ham probably couldn't keep a clean sheet, but conceding 3 goals is disgusting to Huddersfield. And me and Dan, again, we knew it, mentioned that West Ham seemed to struggle against these rubbish teams, and my goodness, did they struggle. It ended 4-3. Arnautovic, did he do anything? Nah, why would you? Nah. Came off after 63 or 67 minutes, something like that. Chicharito getting 2 goals. Ogbonna, Noble getting the other 2 for West Ham. Grant with the 2 goals for Huddersfield, and Bakuna the other. The assists, all different assisters here. So Cresswell, Lanzini, Felipe Anderson finally doing something, but I don't own him anymore, so don't bother me. Nasri, Lowe for Huddersfield, Congolo and Aaron Moy. So yeah, just points all over the place here. Apart from, when I look at this, the only player or players where quite a few people will have them will be Josh King, Rondon, Maddison, and that's probably about it. Now I know FPL Boona did have Chicharito, but he sold him this week. Ironically for King, who got him 1 extra point, but do you know what? I'm going to deliberately just quickly go over some of the free hitter teams. So in my case today, I'm +1. So I've got a total of 5 points. Fabianski, Arnautovic and Fraser were my 3 playing players today. I've got Robertson, Hazard, Mane captain, Alexander-Arnold and Tom Cairney left to play. So, moving on to, and do you know what? I'll do the Elite FPL podcast first. Just briefly go over that. Look at some of the teams. But we'll start with John Harris, who's top of the league. 61st in the whole world. Let me alliterate that. 61st in the whole world. He joined us quickly earlier on to explain the reasoning as to why he brought in Salah this game week, despite the fact that, let's be honest, he was slating him. He was in the same camp as myself, saying that he's a waste of money, don't bother getting him in. But he basically admitted that he went into panic mode. He's that high up in the league. He has basically done a defensive strategy where where the majority of people have captained Salah. He brought him in. He did it for free, to be fair. And he was saying that the getting rid of Robertson as well was some kind of strategy so that he could bring in Aguero and Kane further down the line. But overall, he's on 11 points at the moment. He has had Boric, Declan Rice, Chilwell, Brooks, Arnautovic and Vardy play today. But he's got Captain Salah, Hazard, Mane, David Luiz and Alexander-Arnold left to play. Jason, I know he's on 12 points because I saw it earlier on. So Jason had 12. Oh, he's on 14. Oh, the bonus points were already in. Ah, you can reveal the bonus points. Bloody hell, that's quick. It's not normally that quick. But don't you find it weird that on a game week which is really, really shortened, the bonus points update like that? Yet when it's like a really big game week or something, it takes till like 9, 10 o'clock at night or whatever. But whatever. So the bonus points are in. I might as well just quickly check over who got the bonus points here. So in the Bournemouth game, it was Josh King got the full amount, 3. Rondon got 2. And Richie getting the 1. Now obviously Rondon is a differential on me for Jason. So he had Fabianski playing today, Pereira, Rondon. Rondon's already paid him off. He paid him off big time. Fair play to you, Jason. Excellent score for Rondon there to be bringing him in, getting you the amount of points that he has done over the last 2 or 3 game weeks. I congratulate you, and that's just moved you further away from me. But you're 88th in the world. 88th. You know, I'm just consolidating myself to 2nd place, but we're going to move on to that in a minute. But yeah, Jason had 8 players playing in total. He's got, so Rondon playing today, Vardy, Higuain left for tomorrow, as I said, I'm hoping he doesn't play, but I don't. I've jinxed myself earlier on by saying I don't want him to play. So Puncheon came on for a substitute appearance. Salah captain, Mane, Pereira, Alexander-Arnold still left to play. So yes, moving on to, and of course I've just hit the wrong button there. Of course, when this is a bit of a mini rant here. When you do not want technology to work, you click a button and instantly takes you to somewhere where you don't want to go. When you do want it to work, nothing loads up. Anyway, that aside. So straight like it's doing now. Right then, so on to the Elite FPL Mini League. So third place, Kevin Choi Chow, I'm sorry. Okay, he's on 17 points. Wow, why is that? Oh, he had Madison. Okay. So Kelvin Chow, he took a -4. Okay, he did 3 transfers. Let's just quickly see what transfers he did. And he did for a -4. Camara, Sterling, Jimenez out. Isn't it funny when you got hindsight? You go, oh, hasn't paid off now, has it? I bet you've regretted that. So I'm going to do that all evening. Well, the next 10 minutes or so. So he got rid of Camara for Wilson. Okay, that's fine. But then he got rid of Sterling and Jimenez for Fraser and Vardy. Oh, for a -4, and could that backfire for the potential double game week up next? Now, Jimenez has got a double game week for definite, but will Sterling have a double game week in game week 32? Who knows? But he's on 17 points at the moment. Madison coming in with the main point scoring there with a whopping 9. He's lost out on Phil Bardsley getting a yellow card, so that's 0 points there. But the only players he's got left is Van Dijk, Salah, but he's captain Mane. So interesting there. He had both Salah and Mane, and he's going for it. He's gone with Mane captain there. So here we go. Now then, on to 4th place, Daniel Ash. Wonder what he's done. Wow, 30 points so far. 30 points. God. Well done, Daniel. He's done no transfers either. So let's have a look at the points where they've come from. So, Boric, Chilwell, Felipe Anderson, Madison, Vardy and Rondon. He's got Mane captain. And I always look at teams that have done well so far without their captain playing. And I think to myself, well, if he's done well so far, maybe his luck's in with the captain choice. And he's got Mane as captain, mainly because he hasn't got Salah. But he's got Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk left as well. So well done to you, Daniel Ash, there. I'll quickly look. Oh, that's a point. Jack Gleeson. He used his free hit chip. So Jack Gleeson played his free hit chip. Let's go through with it, shall we? And he's already failed. He's already Why is he gone with Begovic? What's he done that for? For a player that's done so well, why did he keep Begovic? Jack, I know you're in Sri Lanka at the moment. I very much doubt you're even watching this right now. I very much doubt you'll even watch this on a replay. But you played your free hit chip and you brought in Begovic. I'm lost for words. Surely you knew that. Well, number one, Boric's first choice. But of all goalkeepers, yeah. Okay. So Begovic in goal, but who's his substitute? Joe Hart. Just amazes me. And look at this. So this is when you want like a two-way conversation here. So he's played his free hit chip. He's gone double West Ham defence with Declan Rice and Jupe. Look how that's turned out. Who's he got sat on his bench? Azpilicueta. I'm lost for words, Jack. I'm lost for words. Why would you bench? Why would you bring in Azpilicueta if you're not going to play him? I just don't understand this. Well, that's what he's done. So he had Telemans playing today. So he's done double West Ham defence. Van Dijk, Mane he brought in, Hazard, he captained Salah, brought in Telemans that brought an assist today, Arnautovic, Vardy and Wilson. On his bench he had Ryan Fraser, Azpilicueta, and Pereira. God. Good God. Poor Wicket. I'm looking at the big name players here. No disrespect, but these players are doing really well this year. And Paul Wicket gone with Salah captain. He did a points hit. He did 3 transfers. He's gone -4. Let's just see with hindsight if it came through or not. So, the internet is working, so I can still continue with this. So, he got rid of Son for Hazard. Yeah, logical move. Now this is when hindsight plays a a factor for -4. So he got rid of Aguero and Johnny and brought in Vardy and Declan Rice. Ooh. So he's got rid of them two. Unlucky. What can you say? So he's on 11 points. The players left to play: Robertson, David Luiz, Salah captain, Hazard, Mane. So yeah, unfortunate there with the transfers there. Now I'm going to go on to the February Manager of the Month, Chris Judge. He won his Elite FPL mug. He did share a picture on, what's this? Mick Lee, Swansea are beating City. Really? How can I check this out? In fact, I'm not going to check it out. I'll if someone in the chat wants to tell me what the score is, by all means, please just throw it up. If I see it, I see it. If not, I'm not. But that's amazing. They scored a penalty. Thank you, Cameron Rawcliffe. 2-0. Get lost. Dalai Lama saying it's 2-0. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Wow. 2-0. That's amazing. That's scuppered up some plans, hasn't it? Oh, wow. That has no bearing on me, but I support Burnley, Cameron Rawcliffe. You're right. Cameron's asking me who I support. I support Burnley, and I said earlier on, that we were relegated today. The Leicester defeat has basically sent us down. Absolutely awful. It's embarrassing playing against 10 men. And I can guarantee you what happened is we still probably didn't play our normal game of just, hold back and then hit on the break. We probably went for it, and that's probably what Leicester caught us on the break. I don't know. I've only seen some of the basic statistics. Dalai Lama has just asked about what that will do to the double game weeks. I think my basic understanding is that City won't even have one now. I'm not sure because they play. I believe the next round is game week 33, and they play Cardiff. So it looks like it, as it stands right now, it's only Man United with a double game week for well, we knew that anyway for definite, but it's now depending on the fixtures regarding Chelsea when they play Brighton and Cardiff or something, some rearranged fixtures if the Premier League bring it forward to game week 32. I don't know who just said they won 250 quid there, but fair play. Mick Lee, well done to you. I'm assuming that was on the horses. If not, well done on the football. But yeah, what was I doing? Just a quick February Manager of the Month team was Chris Judge. He did a -4. Let's just quickly see exactly who his transfers were in for a -4, just to see if we can laugh at him or not. I don't mean that in a horrible way. I just mean it just from a hindsight point of view. Yeah. Aguero out for Vardy, and this is a good upgrade. Peltier out for David Luiz. Nice little transfers there. But yeah, so I'm going to just briefly talk about my Torbay Elite Cash Mini League, because that's the one that I take extremely seriously, and it looks like a lot of players have played their free hits chip, which to me, oh, Mick Lee, you won it on football. Well done to you. Maybe you listened to mine and Dan's predictions, because when we did our preview last night, so I can do the old, I don't know if you can see it there or not, I don't even know why I'm doing that, but I can read them out to you. So congratulations to Dan, he hit the bang on the nail on the head there, so he gets 3 points for getting the Bournemouth result bang on. Well done. I got nothing for that, I predicted 2-1 and so did Jason. Burnley Leicester, I did call it, I said 2-1 to Leicester, so I get 3 points for that. Dan said 1-1, nearly, but nothing there. Jason went 3-1 to Leicester, so he gets an extra point for being a goal out. West Ham versus Huddersfield, we all corrected, got the correct scoreline right. So, the correct outcome right of being a West Ham win, but my goodness was that tight. I predicted 3-0, Dan predicted 2-0, and Jason predicted 1-0. So, yeah, seems like we did okay with the predictions there. So anyway, on to the Torbay Elite Mini League. Now, this is when it becomes really interesting. Now, I'm fully aware that this specific video is more dedicated for the hardcore Elite FPL community. I do predictions, 1 point for correct result, 3 for score. Nice one. Funny enough, you mentioned that. Cameron, I believe that just mentioned that then. Yeah, Cameron, me and Dan, we're planning on doing next season the Super Brew Predictor League or whatever it is, because I know for fact that this specific season, if me and Dan had entered it from the start, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I apologise, sound like a broken record, but if we had entered the Super Brew League at the start of the season, me and Dan would have won a hell of a lot of money. Me and Dan are pretty good at predicting outcomes, and not just outcomes, but also because I believe the Super Brew, a bit like what you've just said, the Super Brew League, how it works is that if you're within a goal, if you're within a goal of the score that you've done, an example being if it ended 2-0. If I predicted 2-0, but the game ended 2-1, I get an extra point or whatever. The point being is that me and Dan would be doing really, really well and would have earned quite a bit of money. So I'm a bit gutted that we didn't actually specifically enter that, but oh well. Anyhow, on to the Torbay Elite Mini League that we take very, very seriously. And this is really, really interesting from my point of view. I have no idea why these certain players did what they've done, which is the free hit chip. I can't believe the amount of people that have played the free hit chip in my league. They've clearly panicked. Plays a lot into my hands, despite the fact that I used the free hit chip back in game week 26 or something like that. I can't. In fact, you know what? Let's just quickly check when I used the free hit chip. The point being, though, is that at the time, it actually worked out really, really well. It's a bit like people that do the triple captainship in a single game week. Now, as I mentioned, FPL Boona triple captained Salah for this particular game week. He's triple captain, could easily pay off. And you know, sometimes these chips could be used in a single game week, which is what I did. But I had to do an emergency free hit because at the time I took a 16-point hit, and people in chat then were just going, please do not take this 16-point hit, play your free hit chip. And I played it on the 28th of December. So that would have been, what, game week 24, something like that? I can't remember now. Let's have a look. Game week 24. No, way further than that. My goodness. Wow. When the hell was that then? the system. The point being is that when I played my free hit chip, it paid off at the time, and actually moving forward with my transfers, it paid off massively, to be honest with you. So I'm actually quite happy that I did it at the time. I still have I regretted it now with hindsight? So game week 20, I actually played my free hit chip. I ended up on 64 points, which kind of helped me climb up the ladder. And Salah at the time, he got me 12 points. And that was in a match where Liverpool beat Arsenal 5-1. And Salah clearly got a goal and an assist. And he got 2 bonus points as well. So there we are. So anyway, there was a question there that Cameron actually asked. I'll see if I want to do that now. You said it. I'm going to do it next season. Oh, my Instagram is the FPL Kid. Is that right? Well, well, well. Haha. Yes, the FPL Kid. I do recognise the name. I know you like a lot of our stuff. Thank you, and thank you for the support. Most importantly, the fact that you're just tuning in, watching me in my bedroom, just staring at a screen, shows how much you support us. So thank you very much. But yeah, we're I don't want to go into too much detail now, but with the growth of our mini league / this YouTube channel, we have got big plans for next season. So really, it's just a case of stay tuned. I know you will stay tuned, but yeah, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, moving on, I'll eventually get to it in the end. Onto my mini league rivals, who played their free hit chip. And I know one of them, Dexter Roos, he's completely blown it. Absolutely blown it, to be honest with you. Thank you, Cameron. Cameron, if you're listening via an audio to this, I'll say this for Jason and Dan's purposes, because I'm sure they'll listen back to this. So, Cameron, the FPL Kid, if anybody wants to follow the FPL Kid on Instagram, there he is. But he's just saying that he likes our stuff. It's organised and professional, mate. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. I'm not going to lie. I'm fully committed to what we do, and Jason has put a hell of a lot of effort into making this specific stream. Admittedly, this is when he's doing it, when he's with us. Or whenever he decides to do a solo like he did last week. At the end of the day, he's got a laptop. I don't actually own one, hence why I have to do this via the phone. And the reason why I do it via the phone is because I feel that it's important to just show live reaction, true emotion. Brett Mollison, a regular contributor, made the point that he enjoys them because it shows the true emotional roller coaster that people like myself that take FPL very, very seriously go through. The highs, the lows. We laugh a lot, as you can probably tell. I'm really wanting to do a edited video of just cutscenes of just me and Jason just laughing, because that's all we seem to do is just laugh. But point we're standing is that, yeah, we are very proud of what we do, and I'm not going to lie, I watch several FPL YouTube channels. I'm not going to name them, but there are a few which I think are poor, if I'm honest with you. I think their presentation is pretty bad. And I'm not going to lie, maybe there's a bit of bitterness coming out of me, but I don't know how these specific channels have such high views, or more importantly, such a high subscription. Now, me and Jason were discussing the other day that there's probably a reason why that's the case. Probably because we only really started this specific YouTube channel back in October, I think it was. So we uploaded up to YouTube in October. But Jason was making a very valid point that a lot of people get their subscribers up through the pre-season. So it'd be really, really interesting to see where next season's pre-season takes us from a subscription point of view. Especially how Nick Lee has made a very funny comment, and I mean, you joke, but it's a very one that grinds my gears. But Mickley, whether it's a sarcastic, tongue-in-cheek comment, I don't know, but he's just made a point that what he likes about our podcast is the fact that we don't lose underlining statistics. It's a line I can't stand. I get it. I really do understand all the statistics and everything, but I have a full-time job. Jason has a full-time job. Dan has a full-time job. I don't have time to be looking at statistics. I don't have time to be looking at specific players and see their potential, because that's what underlining statistics for me are. It's what that player has potentially to come up. Don't get me wrong, most of the time I'm proven wrong and they do eventually pay off, but let's just take Almiron as an example. It's, in fact, do you know what? Let's bring him up. So Almiron is a prime example of all these players which have got high underlying statistics where they could potentially deliver, but they don't for several game weeks. And don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware that Almiron over the last 2 game weeks, my belief is he has got 2 assists, is my basic understanding. Of course, what was I saying? Technology. When I need it to work, it decides to crash on me. Now, unfortunately, earlier on, I had to stop the stream because not only was this computer not working, or my PlayStation 4 wasn't working, but the stream started cutting out as well. And I don't want, even though this is the most basic and amateur of streams, I get that. But again, I alliterate, this is for the hardcore elite FPL community viewers only. So, yeah, Cameron, or do you want to be called Cameron or FPL Kid? But Cameron has just said, aka the FPL Kid, that views do drop as the FPL season goes on, and Jason did bring that point up, that when FPL becomes less interesting for the casual viewer, it means that it's the hardcore audience that tune into FPL content, of course. And fantasy football is a very, very, very small market. And we had whether people have seen it or not, I'm assuming that everybody knows who Davey FPL is. He's a YouTuber. He is 79th in the world. And he made this point that, I don't know if this was actually during our interview with him. So we did an interview with him, kind of a preview for the game week, but we kind of did an interview beforehand with him. And he made a very good point that there's something there which we could grab from an FPL perspective in getting a huge audience, but the problem is in fact, I think it's Ray Joyce that has just made a point that it's so small. Yes, it's such a small season, such a small market, yet it's very addictive that people just want more and more information. I get that, but I don't think that the game has really tapped into the real life aspect of it. Now, again, I'm fully aware of, like, when it comes to sponsorships and all this malarkey, that they need to tap into all that stuff, but I think there's something there where I think soon fantasy football will be actually literally on our screens when watching a football match, like the game updating and everything. I you know, like, say for instance a player scores and it'll be how has that affected the overall ownership of that particular player when it comes to points and stuff. But it's an interesting topic, but Davey FPL is someone that agrees with me that there's something there which could be tapped into even further. But going back to what Mick Lee was talking about regarding underlying statistics. So Almiron was the prime example of someone that had very good underlying statistics. But at the time, he was literally doing nothing. But now it's kind of proving that those underlying statistics are coming to fruition, where he's now got 2 assists in the last 2 games. But again, if you're someone like me, I'm not really interested in players that play for Newcastle, Huddersfield, Fulham, Brighton, and so on and so forth, until they really start picking up some form. In fact, someone posted on Twitter about a particular player that's been doing really, really well, but no one's looking at him because he hasn't played a blank game week, and that's Ward-Prowse. Why? Because Ward-Prowse for the last 10 game weeks has been bringing in the points left, right and centre, but we just get swayed by all these particular game weeks and everything, and you know, it's one of those where I just look at a bit further on, rather than worrying about someone like Almiron. I'd rather be more worried about someone like Pogba, Rashford, Lukaku, Hazard, seeing their potential things rather than sacrificing my team to get in someone that may or may not deliver because they play for such a poor team. Now obviously it's paid off this week, but not enough free system memory. Sorry, my PlayStation 4 is going really, really slow, and it's just come up with a message. Again, if anybody's a PlayStation 4 user and can explain this to me, it's telling me there's not enough memory for me to use the internet. I just don't understand this. It just... Me and technology do not exist, but I'm going to try and get back into this because I really want to talk to you about Darren Monday's team, who has done a free hit chip, and it's already failed on him because he had Maddison on the bench, you know. So it's all about them going. Actually, I don't even play the PlayStation 4. I don't actually play it at all. I literally use it for YouTube and for doing these live streams, looking at all the information on the screen. That is legitimately all I use it for. So I don't use it for... The reason why I have a PlayStation 4 is for obvious reasons, that I did play computer games. Let's be honest here, Call of Duty. But point withstanding is that now I only play it for... use it for YouTube mainly and doing these particular live streams. So finally I can get on with this. So, in answer to your point, Daily Llama, so you asked just there about me doing a Stevo Saturday soccer special, and the simple answer is I'd like to do it, but it's more the fact that I don't want to disrespect my co-hosts in Dan and Jason. Now, they don't give a damn that I do this. In fact, they actually feed back to me that they really enjoy these. At the end of the day, like I said, we're blokes in our 30s, in our early 30s, and Jason has a family, I have a full-time job, Dan has a full-time job, and in fact Dan, he doesn't like knowing what the football results are at all on a Saturday, so actually they don't mind me doing these solo ones. My personal plan is to actually get a laptop, and Jason will be able to give me the information that I need to do to have the full screen up, so I can actually monitor the chat for real rather than looking at a tiny little screen in the left hand corner, and it may flash up with something and I may catch it. But that's the plan for me in the future, getting a laptop, so then I'll be able to do something like the Soccer Saturday. But the only reason why I can do this is because my shifts at the moment are doing early mornings, so I can do the live reactions and stuff, but it'd be very, very rare for me to do it. But point being is that they can be done, and as of recent times, I'll probably be able to do one maybe game week 32. I don't know, but yeah, at the end of the day, the three of us, we just don't really have the time to do it. That's why we stick to kind of like a dedicated schedule at the moment of when our podcasts go live, and you guys then know when we go live, simply put. But so finally, on to Darren Monday, who used his free hit chip. So again, with hindsight, here we go. Alisson in goal. Perfectly fine. This is when we can all have a little chuckle and make ourselves feel good about ourselves. Declan Rice. Diop. So double West Ham. Charlie Daniels. got a whopping 0 points. Mane, vice-captain. Hazard, Fraser, Salah captain, Arnautovic, Wilson, Jamie Vardy. This is his bench. Maddison, who got 9 points. So actually, this is hilarious. So my rival, directly below me, albeit about 20 odd points behind me, his total score today from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players got him 10 points. On his bench, his first substitute, Maddison, got 9. That just sums up this game week full stop, in my opinion. But I think Darren's wasted his free hit here. I would have done what, and I'll come on to him in a minute, what Dexter Roos did, which was, I think he tripled up on Chelsea and tripled up on Liverpool. That's what I would have done. But, God, that's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. Ben Towler. Now, Ben, he has only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players for this particular... Oh, no, 7. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 players playing. He had Almiron. Got a total of 9 points, but he's only got 3 players left to play. But Salah will probably do something tomorrow. So Salah captain, Alexander-Arnold and Alisson. Just the 7 players there. Connor Lee. He hasn't got many players playing today as well. A whopping 3 points from today. So the same... No, I got 5, but... left to play will be Mane, Salah captain, Kante, Schneiderlin, Robertson. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players he's had in total, because he had Fabianski playing and he had Shaw, but Shaw isn't playing today whatsoever because he's injured or suspended or whatever the circumstances may be. So, I was mentioning Dexter Roos. So Dexter Roos, he played his free hit, and this is a bit more like it. So Dexter's on 21 points at the moment, and this is what I want to see. This is what you want to see. So he's got Alisson in goal. So what I'm saying is he's got nice differential players. So Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, David Luiz, Aaron Cresswell, got him an assist. Pedro, Hazard, Salah captain, Felipe Anderson, got him an assist. Rondon, a goal and 2 bonus points. Wilson and Vardy. He has got Yedlin as his 3rd substitute, unfortunately, but there's nothing you can do there. When I went off air, I was trying to access our co-host Dan Ball's team, and I can finally reveal what he did. Now, interestingly, what was he saying throughout the preview podcast? He isn't going to captain Salah. He isn't going to captain Salah. Who did he captain? You guessed it. Salah. He's on 24 points at the moment. Let's just quickly look at his transfers. Ray Joyce, 9 points from 4 players today, 7 left to play, excellent. And Vince Chapman, what was that? 5 points, 8 points from 5 players. Yeah, I agree with you, Vince. All the good players did absolutely nothing. I did allude to that at the start of this particular pod, that it was only Rondon, Josh King and Maddison of the main players that people would predominantly be talking about, which have done nothing. So, right, so I've just looked at Dan's transfers. And what he's done is this. He got rid of Pogba to bring in Mane. He got rid of Bednarak to bring in Diop of West Ham in defence. Dan. don't know if I like that or not. Don't know if I like that or not. I think you're covering your bases there. But if you knew you were going to captain, well, I say if you knew you were going to captain Salah, I wouldn't have even done that -4. I would have just left it. I would have just not worried about it. Again, hindsight's a brilliant thing, but of course Westwood did nothing. Yeah, but Dan's team: Schmeichel, Pereira, Diop. These are the ones that played today. Felipe Anderson finally came in for him after God knows how many game weeks. Fraser, Westwood, Rondon scoring for him, and Vardy, and he's only got 3 players left tomorrow, which is Salah, captain, Mane, and Alexander-Arnold. Just a quick one over a couple more players that I know. Oh, Terry Roos. Terry Roos, somebody that does like a gamble in real life betting terms. Probably won a lot of money on the horses this week. He's done quite well so far. He's 22 points. So you think you've got it good, guys. So Ray Joyce, Vince Chapman, you think you've got it points with your respective players. Terry Roos, 22 points from 5 players. The 2 main hitters being Josh King, Felipe Anderson. The other 2 players being Seb Fox, who got 8 points with a -8 hit, so you're on 0. Unlucky. Unlucky. I'm only on a +1. I took a -4. But, you know, that's just the way it goes. And as we've just mentioned, as Vince Chapman's just said, that to be fair, not a lot of players have, not a lot of the main players that we've been talking about have done anything. And in fact, won't it be funny tomorrow? In fact, it was, who was it? It was Dan that made this point that we're all talking about, for obvious reasons, Salah and Mane. But it's probably going to be someone from the 3 fixtures today, which would have been the better captain choice. So Chicharito, King, or Grant of Huddersfield. Such random players. But yeah, Terry Roos with Declan Rice, Heaton, Felipe Anderson, King and Barnes playing today. He's got Salah captain, Richarlison and Hazard left to play. So I think, to be honest with you... Oh! The podcast team. I'll just... so, if nobody saw it, myself and Dan on Thursday evening, we did a live free hit draft team selection on Thursday evening, and the rules were quite simple. So at the start of the season, we set ourselves a challenge where we thought, do you know what, we'll do a joint podcast team. Just mean that this is before Jason got involved with our podcast. So we decided we're going to make a bit of a rule for ourselves where we can only choose players from teams which finished 6th or below in last season. So anybody from Arsenal downwards. At first we kind of took it semi-seriously, but then we thought, well, we just completely forgot about it because we just were focusing so much on our own teams. And I'd occasionally just log into our podcast team and be like, yeah, I'll just make this transfer and do that transfer. And a lot of the time, there was a lot of points always sitting on the bench because we just never really did anything. So anyhow, we just thought for a bit of fun with the fact that the majority of this blank game week is going to have... Yeah, so Cameron has just asked, and for anybody else that's interested, has just asked about a prediction site where you can enter for free and you win money. It's the Super Brew Cup. It's the Super... yeah, there is a cup called the Super Brew Cup, but it's the Super Brew... I don't know, predictor game or something. So Super Brew, all you've got to do is type in on Google Super Brew Predictor, and then we will then you will be entered into whatever. But I think it's a bit late. But yeah, my understanding is that you could they do monthly prizes and all this malarkey. So it's 2-1 to City. 2-1 to Swansea. Come on, Swansea. So yeah, you can enter that. So it's the Super Brew and just enter that into that and see how you get on really. But there is definitely worth a shout joining in there. So onto the podcast team. So we did our free hit chip, and we just took advantage of the fact that the majority of the players that we'd be able to pick from anyway would be playing this game week. So all our players, in fact they all played today, and we got a total of 32 points. So I'll just quickly go through with it. It was Fabianski in goal, Tarkowski, Pereira. Some of our punts came off, to be fair. So Ake got in an assist. Felipe Anderson came in. Almiron, you could say, is a bit of the punt there. Antonio did nothing. Telemons came in with an assist. We captained Wilson. That didn't come off, unfortunately. Jamie Vardy and Barnes made up the other two. And then on our bench was Dean Yedlin was on there, and Fraser. So 32 points overall. Not that great. But considering the pool of players we can pick from, were we really going to go for Josh King? No, I don't even think his name was even mentioned. I know Matt Ritchie was by myself, but it was a choice between Madison or Telemons. Dan wanted to go with a differential, so we went with Telemons instead. We never mentioned Chicharito, Ogbonna, Noble. These players. People in chat were talking about Lanzini taking Antonio's place. Well, Antonio and Lanzini started today, and obviously Lanzini came in the points. So yeah, it's just one of those things really. But I saw Dalalama mentioning that we could have an elite FPL community team next season. I don't know how we go. Again, these are all really good ideas actually that we would like you to actually bring up for us to look into next season. So pre-season, if you hold that thought in your head, Dalai Lama or Daily Lama, regarding that, then that's something that myself, Dan and Jason can discuss for the following season. I know that for next season I'm wanting to do when we're doing our predictions, we're going to do something where it will be myself, Dan and Jason obviously up against each other, but also get you guys in the chat involved. So, as we go through the teams, you would predict the scores, and then Jason would be able to just get a general average of what people are thinking. I don't know, as an example, so if we were to take Bournemouth versus Newcastle, and the give or take majority would go with a Bournemouth win, and the general consensus of a scoreline was like, say, 2-0, then we'd say the community is saying 2-0. Other things in the pipeline would be obviously things like a captain poll vote. I think that's something that I've been banging on to Jason about, but I think it's just the technology side of it. It's all kind of like annoying things that just seem to make things a bit more complicated. I know that Jason does have a few issues with YouTube and stuff doing certain things, but that's a different story for a different day, to be honest with you. But there are certainly a lot of things in the pipeline which are going to make this channel certainly a lot more interactive for you guys. Absolutely. Certainly one of them being that I'm almost certainly going to be buying a laptop for next season to have, rather than you just looking at me on a screen and me just looking at a computer screen, you guys can actually be involved with looking at the screen that I'm looking at, so you can actually get an idea of the players that other teams have got. And I think that's going to make it a hell of a lot more interactive for certain. So I think really... Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Just quickly, I wanted to look at FPL Boona because, just to alliterate, FPL Boona played his triple captain this game week. He hit it on Salah. Congratulations to him. He's got the cojones to do that. We'll just quickly look at his team, though. And as I always say, when your luck's in, your luck's in. And so far, he's got 26 points. He did a transfer. He did a -8, though. So if my maths is correct, that's 18 points he's on at the moment. But let's just look at his transfers. I think he got rid of Chicharito, though. Yes, he did. Ironically, for King. So FPL Buda, he got rid of Sterling, Van Aanholt and Chicharito, and he brought in Hazard, David Luiz and Josh King. So on the face of it, actually he's doing really well at the moment. So come on, would you triple Pogba next week if you could? So Vince Chapman's just asked a very simple question: would myself or anybody triple captain Pogba next week? Well, I'll let you know now, Vince. Without doing any transfers so far, with the team as it stands right this second, I have Pogba as my captain. But that's all going to change. I will be looking at probably wildcarding depending on what fixture. Because the good thing about next game week, this is the key, if nobody knows, we've now got a 2-week break. And it's one of those where we will find out exactly what is going on regarding double game weeks in this 2-week break. This is going to be key. So it's going to be one of those where I think that it's find out first what's going on with fixtures. So Notorious Nerd has just asked a very simple question, which is, should we activate the free hit chip now to gain on money? Simple answer is this: I would honestly hold, personally, because I would just wait and see if there's any more extra double game week teams to be announced. So it looks like, based on the Man City score at the moment, which again, if anybody wants to tell me what's going on, it was 2-1 to Swansea. I don't know if it's 2-2 or 3-2 or 3-1 to Swansea, who knows, but I'm really hoping that Swansea go through and that will scupper up all plans. But I mean, so if we're looking, in all seriousness, if we're looking at the next fixture list, I'll tell you what. Right. So let's just take it as read right now that this is the fixture list that will happen, and it's a double game week for United, right? And there are some tasty fixtures for you to do a free hit on. So Man City away at Fulham. That looks prime for points, let's be honest here. Although we'd be able to gauge tomorrow how Fulham are at home. I mentioned it yesterday. Fulham's away form is a shambles. At home, however, it's not too bad. The basic statistics you want to know is that away from home, they've conceded 40 goals and scored only 10. But when they were away at Liverpool, Liverpool only scored 2. At home, however, they've scored 18 goals and only conceded 28. So, City have got a penalty. Oh well. So, yeah, looking at this game week upcoming, City away at Fulham looks primed to, a lot of goals there, let's be honest here. United double game week, so they're up against Watford and they're up against Wolves. And it's the same fixture, actually, so it's obviously we're going to get a gauge tonight. Obviously, it's the FA Cup, but Sterling assist, very good. Sterling, come on. Oh, well. So we're going to have a bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? A rehearsal for the Wolves-Man United game, although it is the FA Cup, so I did say it would be 1-1. I think if it's going to go in a favour of the win, it'll probably be United, in my opinion. But Aguero's come on and he scored, has he? Hey. Shame he couldn't do it last week. Anyway, I'm still bitter. 2-2. Damn. Anyway, so on to this particular game week. So, Man City away at Fulham. Right, that's done. Man United and Wolves have got the double game week fixtures. Wolves have got a good set of fixtures away at Burnley and at home to United. I think, yeah, double up on Wolves is good there. A treble up on United, I would go with, if I was trebling up, I'd go with Lukaku, Pogba and a defender, if I'm honest with you. Because, and I'll tell you why, because if I was to free hit, so in answer to Notorious Nerd's free hit strategy, look at Arsenal's fixture. Arsenal at home to Newcastle. I can see that being a high scoring game. I can see that being a 4-0, an own goal. I'm just seeing here, sorry, I don't know if this is being a troll or not. I don't think it is a troll, why would it be? But a goalkeeper own goal. Yasin Klausch is saying, oh, I see. Right, okay, sorry, that's it looks like Aguero nearly missed and almost looks like the goalkeeper may have pushed it in. So yeah, back to this particular game week upcoming. Next, game week 32 on March the 30th. Arsenal have got Newcastle at home. Arsenal at home are phenomenal. Tell you what, I'd have Aubameyang. Absolutely have Aubameyang in my team for that. Definitely. So that's 2 striker spots taken up. And you'd probably have Jimenez. So I'd have Aubameyang, Jimenez and Lukaku as my front 3. You know, other tasty fixtures. Chelsea away at Cardiff. You know, you'd like to think that Chelsea should do something there. Everton away at West Ham. Saw what Huddersfield did. Why not get Sigurdsson and Richarlison in? You know, West Ham are clearly absolutely pants against these so-called lowly teams or whatever. But whatever. The toughest fixture is Liverpool versus Spurs. I think that's I think that will be a couple of goals in that game. You know, 1-1, 2-1 either way. More in favour of Liverpool with their home form. Leicester at home to Bournemouth. That's goals galore, surely. Crystal Palace at home to Huddersfield. Maybe get a defender in there. So I think, yeah, do you know what? I think this could be a really good game week to free hit. Hopefully Chelsea have that double game week as well. So they'll have Cardiff away and Brighton at home, my understanding is. So I think just wait on news for game week 32. You've got 2 weeks. And I don't think there'll be many price rises anyway coming up until the final game, the final week of the upcoming game week 32 fixture. So yeah, I think just hold on your free hit for game week 32 and see what was. And the Daily Lama saying that potential injuries on international duty. Absolutely. We already know that Lukaku isn't going to be playing tonight because of an injury. Roberto Martinez saying that he won't be playing for Belgium, I don't think either. Notorious Nerd, I've just quickly seen something there. That do you recommend no? If I was to play my free hit on this particular game week, and it's, like I said, only as the fixtures as it stands, would I get any Liverpool in? God, it's so tough. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I would load up on Arsenal. Well, off the top of my head, for a bit of fun, I might as well just say it now. I've been going on for 1 hour and 3 minutes. That's crazy. Thank you to everybody that is in chat, everybody that has watched me or is watching right now. I really appreciate this. This is nuts. I really should be logging off here, but there's just fantastic questions coming in, so I'd like to answer them. But yeah, if I was to do a free hit chip for this particular game week, I would triple up on Man City. This is as the fixture stands right now, the information that we've got, which is a double game week for United. So it would be triple up on Man City. I'd triple up on Man United. I'd double up on Wolves. I'd double up on Arsenal. So that's quite a lot of money tied up already. I'd get in a transfer for maybe Hazard, depending on what he does tomorrow. I think certainly monitor Hazard tomorrow. If Hazard scores tomorrow, then I would be getting him in. Although, remember, he actually got a hat-trick versus Cardiff at Stamford Bridge this year. So, Cameron, aka FBL Kid, has just asked me, how long have I been playing this game for? So, we did a podcast, me and Dan, ironically on an international duty break, talking about the history of this specific podcast. And to give you an idea of what I used to do, so when I was at work back where I used to live, I think it would have been about 2005, 2006. I did my own personal fantasy football game where I would photocopy. This is great. All you kids out there that do this game. So I would photocopy out of the Daily Mirror their fantasy football point scoring system, and I have all their players. And where I work, I would get people involved. I would normally get about between 15 and 20 people from work and friends as well, so 15, 20 people, friends, to join in, and I'd hand them out these photocopied pieces of paper with every single player. I would do a point scoring system based on what I would choose. It was very simple. It would be like it was literally for goals only, clean sheets, because I couldn't do assists or anything like that. I was basically doing the data on what the Daily Mirror gave me. And it would be for man of the match as well. I can't remember specifically what the match. So anyway, fast forward like 3 or 4 years, and a friend of mine at work said to me, "Have you ever thought about doing this for free on your phone, on your laptop?" And I was like, "No, how easy is it?" And my friend was like, no, it's really, really easy. And I thought, why not? So I personally started the FPL season back in once I get my team. I'm sorry about this. So I started back in the game. Oh, okay. 2011 and 2012. So actually it must have been 2008, 2009 when I was doing this, my own personal fantasy game. But that aside, so I've been doing it for what, 2, 4, 6, 7 seasons. So this is my 8th season. And my, give or take, average position is approximately 80,000th per year, give or take. So my best ever season was in 2012, 2013. But you've got to remember, I don't really want to be patronising, but this game has exploded over the last 2 or 3 years. But back in 2012, 2013, I think there was only like 1 million people playing, but I got to 4,209th in the world. That's my best season. My worst season, ironically, was last year, where I ended up on 178,000th. Just to give you an idea of the Leicester title winning season, where, you know, if you didn't load up on Leicester at the start of the season, which I didn't, you were always in for a fail, and I ended up 139,000th. But yeah, I do pretty well at this game. And this season, ironically, because Jason's doing so well, and obviously you guys in the chat, along with the guys that are in our Elite FPL Mini League podcast, are doing so well, I feel I'm having a really bad season. Yeah, I'm actually doing really, really well. And in fact, just a bit of trivia for you. If anybody, I'm assuming you all use the Fantasy Football Scout site, but if you have bookmarked the moderator league that they do, I would actually be second in their league. So Mark Southerns, that owns the forum site, he's top and he's like 800th in the world, but I would be second in that particular mini league. That's just a bit of the proud boast there, but this season, yeah, I'm doing really, really well. I'm up to, as of last game week, I was 5,096th. The highest I've been this year has been 4,365th. Then I had that shambolic game week last week, but it kind of all paid off. Mainly because, let's be honest here, because of the Sterling captaincy. That's why. Oh, I've just seen on screen, it's all going mad. City of flaming. Yep. Daily Llama, it's going to be a double game week for City now. This is my point. You've got to go on the information. So hold that free hit. That's why I'm holding off the wild card. Oh, offside, although not if it counts. Ooh, so it may not count. It could be offside, and obviously I don't think there'll be any VAR either. Ooh, Vince Chapman asking triple captain a City player. Do you know what? That's the simple answer. I think triple captaining a City player for the upcoming game week, double game week 32, if announced, will be obviously the most popular choice. I would probably chicken out and go with triple captain Sterling. 3-2 confirmed. Thank you there. Sorry, I missed. Yassine, thank you very much. Yassine's just saying it is confirmed as 3-2. But yeah, I would probably triple captain Sterling. But if Lukaku is past fit, I'd triple captain Lukaku. I really would. His form is absolutely stunning at the moment. I can't look past that. But yeah, so back to what I was saying regarding my game week history and overall ranks and everything. This season I'm doing really, really well. It's just Jason's having, and he explained it in the last video, or the video before that, he's just having one of these freak seasons where everything's coming together, and as I keep stating, it doesn't matter what I seem to do. It really doesn't matter what I seem to do. It doesn't backfire. It just, anything I seem to do which seems to be a differential, it comes through, but one of Jason's players will match that point. So it's just been really, really unfortunate for me. But like I said, I'm just consolidating myself to second place in my Cash Mini League, and that's what I care about, really. But guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I can't believe I've been going on for an hour and 11 minutes. If anybody has joined me for this amount of time, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. It's been one hell of a podcast. I've really enjoyed that. Thank you for the questions. I'm glad that I've been able to actually interact with you guys, and I think they've been really interesting questions, to be honest with you. Predominantly about the free hit chip regarding Game Week 32, and obviously guys that have been posting about their points and whatnot. And yeah, it's one of those where, as I keep stating, this is predominantly for the hardcore audience of the Elite FPL podcast. I keep doing this speech every time I do these particular solo podcasts, and I appreciate the comment there, Cameron. I enjoy doing them. I really do. Like I say, I take FPL, let's be honest here, I take it really, really seriously. And I like to talk about it, to be honest with you. And I think that with the FPL community, they really do want live reaction rather than having to wait for a reaction to what's happened. I think reacting live to what's going on either at the time or like when all the football has finished, I think they're really, really good, because you get, as Brett Mollison keeps saying, you get the real emotional roller coaster seeing what that individual is going through, rather than say 2 or 3 days later when it's like, yeah, I don't really care now. I just want to move on to the next game week. So yeah, thank you everybody that joined us. Really, really appreciate it. If I shouldn't be saying this, but if you have enjoyed what I've done and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Myself, Dan and Jason really, really appreciate anybody that does subscribe. But more importantly, myself, Dan and Jason will be back tomorrow evening. We'll be obviously reflecting on today, but more importantly, what happens to what Salah and Mane do tomorrow, if Mane turns up. I'm not being a troll, I'm just going on what about 1 billion people have been talking about, the fact that Mane wasn't shown in training yesterday or whatever. It did get me panicking this morning, I'm not going to lie. It is a bit of a concern, but I'm just going to ride along with it and just be like, do you know what, if he doesn't play, he doesn't play. I've got vice captain Hazard, and we'll just see what Salah does.
What I'm really hoping is that both Mane and Salah both get benched. I think that would just be absolutely hilarious. But anyway, thank you for joining me. We will see you tomorrow evening, 6:30. All the best. Enjoy your evening. I'm going to bed.